It's week 1, so you know what that means. It's Cowboys week. So we're going to break that game down. We're going to talk about my expectations, and Saquon Barkley puts the cherry on the top 100 list. So we're going to talk about all that, but you know we got to run the intro. Let's get it.
You didn't want to give us nothing, so therefore we got to go take it. I don't need to say no more. Give me my darn theme music.
Welcome to the DY Prods channel. I am your guy, DY Fly. What it do? It's week 1. Can you feel it?
It's time!
That's right. It's week 1. It's time to play some football. After all the smack talk across the off season, we can now get down to what we do best, and that's doing it on the turf, all right? First and foremost, shout out to my subscribers. We are up to 128, I believe. That's a far cry from last week, so shout out to y'all.
This is culturally inappropriate.
That's right. I appreciate y'all for rocking with your boy. We moving, all right? This is week 1. We're going to talk about the Cowboys in a second. It's not much to break down since we're still gathering. We still need to get more information on both teams, but we're going to talk about that. But first, let's talk about this. All right. 2K Say comes in at number 1 at the top 100 list. That's right. When you go for 2 stacks, when you jumping over people backwards, doing things that people haven't even seen before, when you come from a poverty franchise and people are calling you a home run hitter, you just looking for the big runs. Well, yeah, when you're the only weapon on the team, it's like it's either I get a touchdown or we don't score. But you see what he was trying to do the whole time when he was with that said franchise, which they will rename nameless. He gets with us. Howie Roseman gives him a shot because he sees the vision. Shout out to Howie.
Who put this thing together? Me. That's who.
That's right. 2K Say comes in, and he was that overhand right for us all last year. The overhand right that you might see next week with Terrence Crawford catching Canelo, putting him on his pockets. We going to talk about that later, though. But 2K Say, he came, he saw, he conquered. Shout out to 2K Say, Saquon Barkley. I still can't believe y'all let us get Saquon.
Eagles got Saquon Barkley.
Yeah. They squabbling out there now. Yeah.
I think Saquon, he was the first person to have a tagline on my channel. So, yeah, shout out to Saquon. All right, moving on to the game between hold up. Let's play this. We got to rub this in.
What's the latest? Just on the Saquon thing.
I just got a text that Chicago's driving the price up and Philly's out. I don't know if that's true or not. Which I don't know if I'll make a couple of calls. I don't even know if that's gonna happen, but
I'm gonna have a tough time sleeping if Saquon goes to Philadelphia. I'll say that, as I've told you, just being honest. I've been around enough players, so but he's the most popular player we have by far.
yeah.
What's the latest?
Shut the fuck up.
Too bad, too sad. He not only does he run for 2,000 yards, he gets a ring with your in-division rival. That's crazy. Oh,
Crazy work.
yeah, man. But moving on, for week 1, there's not much on to say about this game. I'm not going to get to all the breakdown and the X's and O's and all that, but let's talk about what we do know. I'm not going to keep you long. Let's just talk about what we do know. We do know that the Dallas Cowboys, they like to throw. They don't have a running game, so CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, they will be the X factor, period, point blank, all right? I'm not worried about their tight end, Terrence Ferguson. We have both Zach Bond and Maximum Carnage, Jahad Campbell. We have him. They can both cover, so I'm not really worried about the coverage in the middle of the field, all right? Their running backs, Miles Sanders, the new kid Alfred Blue or Jaden Blue, and old boy that came over from the Broncos. Are we really worried about him? Are we really worried about him? I'm not. So the wide receivers, that's going to be the focus. Can Dak deliver? You know, we're going to find out. The questions that we've been having all offseason, they're going to be addressed in this game. Okay? Cornerback 2. Who's going to step up? Will Adoree Jackson step up? It looks like he's going to get the start. Okay? Jacorian Bennett, Cactus Jack. Will he get some PT? We'll see. Will Quinyon Mitchell? Will he travel? Will he travel with CD? That means he would have to move into the slot because CD does play out of the slot a lot. We're gonna see. We're gonna find out what Vic Fangio has cooked up. As far as our offense. Well, hold up. Before we get to our offense, our defense, I think that we can really get after the quarterback. Both Nolan Smith and Jalix Hunt, and even Jalencarter up the middle. We're gonna see if they can put some pressure on Dak. See if they can cause some turnovers, and see if we can get some turn the ball over and get some possessions going our way. So we're gonna see. As far as the offense, listen, man, the Cowboys, they're gonna have to pick their poison. The Cowboys are gonna have to pick their poison. If they sell out on the pass, then Saquon, he's gonna go for two. He's gonna go for 2 bills. All right, he's gonna go for 2 bills. If they sell out on the run, then Jalen Hitman Hurts, he's gonna hit him over the head, and he's gonna have a day. It's as simple as that. All right. Do I see us making unforced turnovers, unforced errors? No, I don't see that. I don't see that. It could happen, but I don't see that. And let's take a look at the injury report real quick. It looks like both teams are pretty much fully healthy. Let me play something for you, man. I want to play something for you, and then I'm gonna tell you why my expectations are high for this game. Okay?
Who knows?
I asked Nick earlier this morning about what he's emphasizing with player-led leadership. He talked about habits, and I think that's a constant thing he's kind of talked about the last couple of years. But how does he emphasize habits? How do you embrace that, and what are habits that work for you?
Well, when you said Nick, it made me really, the thing that he's been preaching a lot is contribution over credit, and the whole sense of, it doesn't really matter how it gets done, it's just a matter of getting it done, as a team, and really buying into that collective. And so I think he's had a habit of saying that. He's had a habit of saying that to try and go to that next level, it requires something more of yourself. And so I think he's done a really good job from a message standpoint. And as a team, we just have to continue to, kind of be all in on that and follow his lead.
So when you hear him say that over and over about contribution, what do you reflect on?
I reflect on trying to find a way to win and not mattering how it looks.
How often?
All right. One thing that I've said repeatedly on this channel, and you guys will, y'all continue to hear me say this, is that greatness starts from the top. Okay? It starts from the top. That means it starts from Jeffrey all the way down to the water boy. Okay? Now, you can take what Jalen said to heart or what have you, but from what I heard is that he is reiterating what his coach, Nick Sirianni, has been preaching to the team. And that's what I love to hear. It trickles down from Nick down to Jalen to the rest of the team. Okay? And they have something to prove this year. Nick has something to prove. Okay? They want to, and all these coaches rankings or whatever, they always want to put Nick below someone like Dan Campbell or, you know, even Sean McVay, even though they have the same amount of rings, they put Sean McVay higher because he calls plays. Man, whatever, yo. Whatever. Nick Sirianni has the pulse of this team. Okay? He has the pulse of his team. He's learned to harness some of that aggression, and he's learned how to he knows when to turn it on and turn it off. I think he's figured it out. And if that's the case, no one's going to beat us, okay? No one's going to beat us.
I'm the man up in this piece. I run shit here. King Kong ain't got shit on me. I know what the fuck I'm doing.
Why I think this game is so important and why I think it's going to be a blowout is because you're not going to quote me to death all season, all off season, okay? Have that look in your eye, the eye of the tiger, and then, you know, tell me that you're only focused on week 1 and you're only focused on the Cowboys just to come out and start slow. No, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. And I expect them to curb stomp the Cowboys right out the gate. This is the game to show that there's levels and that we're on two different sides of the spectrum. The Cowboys have shown that they are a joke all off season. You know, I know as Eagles fans, we like to joke and say long live Jerry or whatever. Cool. That's all fun and games. But now it's the regular season. And now it's time for us to show that we're two different franchises. We're on two different levels. All right. We're on two different levels. I expect us to come out guns blazing. Guns blazing. And Kevin Patullo, he has something to prove. He has something to prove. I believe in him. He looked good, keeping connecting plays during the preseason. So my expectations are high, but I think he'll be okay. I think he'll be okay because he's been around through the ups and downs and the turnarounds, all that. So I think we'll be okay. But no, I don't think we're going to start slow. I think that we're going to come out and we're going to whoop some ass. All right? And that's what I'm saying. I got a feeling in my gut that there is a ass whooping on the horizon. It's on the horizon. I feel it in my gut. This guy, Rhino, says if Jacorian Bennett works out, I don't know what the rest of the league does, to be honest. And yeah, that's a fact. That is a fact. I think that'll answer a lot of questions. You look here, Elliot Shore Park says Vic Fangio won't say who the starting safety, linebacker, or cornerback 2 is. Cowboys Fan Talk says if you can't say the names, you're not confident. Advantage Cowboys. Look, man, they're grasping at straws. They'll take anything that they can get. They know that by the end of the game, we're going to be dancing on their graves. They know. Let's see. Thomas World says we need to stop treating quarterback matchups like they're 1v1s. Look, man, I feel what he's saying. I'm not going to be one of these Twitter people and be like, and take things out of context and then run with it. I feel what he's saying because the quarterbacks, they don't play each other. They play each other's defense. But at the same time, there is a such thing as head-to-head matchups. Okay? And head-to-head matchups, they matter. They used to show the head-to-head matchups. I've noted this before. They used to show the head-to-head matchups before every game. Back when Peyton Manning and Tom Brady were playing, they used to show the head-to-head matchups. Okay? So it is what it is. Look, what's that old Jay-Z quote? Since I will not lose, they try to help them cheat. Since I will not lose, that even in defeat, it's a valuable lesson learned, so they even it up for me. Right? My boy Jalen gets it done. Now they got people on Twitter saying, oh, we need to stop treating quarterback matchups like it's a 1v1. But yet, they over here giving Joe Burrow digital dome, trying to fake it till he makes it, right? They trying to fake it till he makes it just to make the playoffs. Man, stop, bro.
Shut your wagging ass up and sit the fuck down.
You ain't balling, you pump faking.
Man, stop. I'm not trying to hear it, yo. But I'm ready. That's all I got, really. But stay tuned for the post game. I'm going to do a post game, but I'll have a special guest. My uncle Jeff, he is joining me on the program, and he's going to help me break the game down to the molecule, man. And I love him, but he is an old school Cowboys fan. So y'all get to see a old school Cowboys fan and his purist go full Super Saiyan. Just, Super Saiyan God maybe, but I don't think he'll be mad or angry. I think he'll just be like highly disappointed, So, but he's going to be joining me on the post game. Y'all stay tuned for that. I love him to death. And we're going to drop the banner on their neck. And then while they on the ground looking up, seeing stars, we're going to raise it so they can see what greatness looks like. Hold on. What does greatness look like?
This is what greatness looks like.
That's right. They hate us because they ain't us.
Bling bling all in your face. I think you might need to put on your shades.
But that's all I got. My final score prediction for the game is 36-23 Birds. All right? So we're going to put them in the dirt. But let me know in the comment section what your prediction for the final score is going to be. And yeah, man, hit the like button. Let's run it up. Like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you to my subscribers again. But if you don't like that, you know the deal.
Nigga, you gonna get down or you gonna fucking lay down.